welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have another thriller recommendations for you, and this one is thrillers that are good for beginners. So if you are just kind of new to the thriller / mystery genre, these are all books that will be really good for you. So these are fast-paced, they're going to keep you on the edge of your seat, they're going to keep you interested, but they don't have too much of a complicated storyline, so they're easy to follow along with, and you might be able to guess some of the twists. I know I did, but I read thrillers a lot, so it's kind of hard to stump me when it comes to thrillers. But these ones are kind of like, I don't want to say easy mysteries, but they're more of like just not quite as complicated of storylines. So they're really easy to get into, and they're really quick reads because they just keep you interested the entire time and you want to continue to read until you finish the book. Now, a couple of these I may have spoken about in other videos on my channel, but the first one that we are going to talk about is Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. So this one basically revolves around two sisters. I'm going to read the synopsises for these books. And the first one says, one night 15-year-old Cass and her 17-year-old sister Emma disappear. The family car is found deserted at a nearby beach, but the authorities are baffled by what could have become of them. 3 years later, with just the clothes on her back and no evidence on credibility to back up her claims of what happened, Cass returns home without her sister. Her tale is one of kidnapping and isolation and the mysterious island where the two were held. But Cass's story has holes, and to forensic psychologist Dr. Abby Winter, something about it just doesn't add up. As an expert in narcissistic personality disorder, Dr. Winter looks deeply into Cass's family to uncover the truth. She looks at the mother, a woman so beautiful on the surface and so damaged and damaging beneath. She looks at the stepfather and the stepbrother, each so uniquely troubled and dangerous. And she looks at Cass herself. What she finds will shock those searching for Emma and reveal a twisted story of a deeply dysfunctional family and the lengths to which Cass has gone to bring about redemption. So this one, like I said, fast-paced. I ended up doing a full-on review. This one does have spoilers of it. I did it on my old BookTube channel. So if you don't know, I have an old BookTube channel that I had a few years ago. And due to a long, complicated story that I'm not going to get into just because who cares, I had to start this channel because I wasn't able to get my monetization over there tied into my main channel monetization. Anyways, long story short, I have an old BookTube channel that I don't post on anymore, and one of my good friends and I, Georgia, we did a bestie book babble over there regarding this book, and so we went really deep into it, our thoughts on it, kind of like an in-depth book review. So if you end up reading this and you want to go over there and check out that video, I have a link in the description box below to my old BookTube channel, and you can check that out, and kind of like a little book club, if you will. All right, the next book that we're going to talk about is one that has been talked about so much because it was a huge sensation. There's been a Netflix movie made off of it, and it really was very popular for a while. And there is a reason for that, and the reason for that is because it's good. I really enjoyed this book, and I really think that you will like it as well, especially if you are a beginner in thrillers, and that is A.J. Finn's The Woman in the Window. So, like I said, this is definitely not the first time that you've ever heard of this book. I'm sure it's not. But it says, Anna Fox lives alone, a recluse in her New York City home, unable to venture outside. She spends her days drinking wine, maybe too much, watching old movies, recalling happier times, and spying on her neighbors. Well, then the Russells move into the house across the way. A father, mother, their teenage son. Perfect family. But when Anna, gazing out her window one night, sees something she shouldn't, her world begins to crumble, and its shocking secrets are laid bare. What is real? What is imagined? Who is in danger? Who is in control? In this diabolically gripping thriller, no one and nothing is what it seems. Once again, I couldn't put this one down. This one, the twist did surprise me at the end, and it was just a really easy to read thriller. You can just fly through this one, and that's what I love about thrillers, is that they keep you so hooked that you just want to continue reading, and you can just like get through a whole one in one sitting most of the time. The next is a YA thriller, and that is from Stephanie Perkins, called There's Someone Inside Your House. It's been almost a year since Makani Young came to live with her grandmother, and she's still adjusting to her new life in rural Nebraska. Then, one by one, the students of her high school begin to die in a series of gruesome murders, each with increasing and grotesque flair. As the body count rises and the terror grows closer, will Makani survive the killer's twisted plan? So this girl starts to notice things like going on in her house, where she kind of notices that someone is inside her house, but she can't, like, things are just moved, little things. It's almost like somebody's just messing with her, and that's kind of like what grabs her attention and kind of pulls her into this mystery. These last two books are both about mothers, both of whom could not be more different. The first one I've talked about on here before, and that is Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips, and this is one of my absolute favorite thrillers of all time. I think it's extremely underrated, and I would love to see more people reading this because it is so good. I like to tell, I've told the story on here before, but basically I read this when my first son was, I think he was about 4 months old, and this story is about a mother and her 4-year-old son, and it just, I read it right before I was going to bed. I was going to just read a couple of chapters. It pulled me in. I ended up like setting up reading for a couple more hours and being totally tired the next day, but it was worth it because I loved this book so much, and it really resonated with me being a mother of a new son. So it really like just kicked me in the feels and made me feel like more invested in the story. The zoo is nearly empty as Joan and her 4-year-old son soak up the last few moments of playtime. They are happy and the day has been close to perfect. But what Joan sees as she hustles her son toward the exit gate, minutes before closing time, sends her sprinting back into the zoo, her child in her arms. And for the next 3 hours, the entire scope of the novel, she keeps on running. Joan's intimate knowledge of her son and of the zoo itself, the hidden pathways and under-renovation exhibits, the best spots on the carousel and the overstocked snack machines transforms her into the hero, and she and her son need to stay a step ahead of danger. So yeah, basically a mother trying her best to protect her son in an active shooting. This is a really extremely fast-paced book. Like it said in the synopsis, this takes place over 3 hours. So it's just in a short amount of time, and it's just go, go, go right from the beginning. So this one is definitely great for beginners. And like I said, if you have kids, it's gonna definitely like kick you in the feels that much more and make you even more invested. And the last book that we are going to talk about today is Mother, Mother by Corinne Zalkes. And this one I actually almost reread twice because I had forgotten. I'd read it so long ago that I'd forgotten that I'd actually read it. And then as I started reading it, I'm thinking, this seems really familiar. But this one is about another mother named Josephine. And it says, Josephine Hurst has her family under control with 2 beautiful daughters, a brilliantly intelligent son, a tech guru husband, and an historical landmark home. Her life is picture perfect. She has everything she wants. All she has to do is keep it that way. But living in this matriarch's determinedly cheerful yet subtly controlling domain hasn't been easy for the rest of her family. And when her oldest daughter, Rose, runs off with a mysterious boyfriend, Josephine tightens her grip, gradually turning her flawless home into a darker sort of prison. Resentful of her sister's newfound freedom, Violet turns to Eastern philosophy, hallucinogenic drugs, and extreme fasting, eventually landing herself in the psych ward. Meanwhile, her brother Will shrinks further into a world of self-doubt. Recently diagnosed with Asperger's and epilepsy, he is separated from the other kids around town and is homeschooled to ensure his safety. Their father, Douglas, finds resolve in the bottom of a bottle, an addict craving his own chance to escape. Josephine struggles to maintain the family's impeccable facade, but when a violent incident leads to a visit from Child Protective Services, the truth about the Hearst might finally be revealed. So, like I said, completely different sort of mother. This one's more of the villain in this story, and you're really rooting for this family. All right, guys, so those are 5 thrillers that are going to be perfect for you if you are new to the thriller genre. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of them. I'm sure a lot of you have probably read the AJ Fenn one, The Woman in the Window, but I just couldn't not include it because it really is a really good book for a beginner thriller reader. So let me know in the comments below if you've read any of them and what your thoughts were. Make sure you subscribe on your way out if you haven't done so yet. I'm getting extremely close to 1,000 subscribers, and I would love for that to happen before my 1-year anniversary coming up soon, early September. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.